before we get started, right? Because today will be an important lesson. So I've learned a lesson this couple of days that's been striving by. Actually, this last month has been very educational for me. I've learned a lot during these last 30, yeah, 30 to 45 days has been very, very knowledgeable for me because I've learned to not only not only master basically myself and my thoughts, but also more of understanding other people's thoughts. Okay. So last week we went through basically anxiety, how to deal with stress, how to handle stress. That was a big part of last week. How to handle stress, how to feel better basically during the anxiety times, because we all realized last week that stress is basically fake, right? Stress is fake. Stress is what we do. Stress is the mindset that we jump into, right? So if stress now is fake, then we all got to understand that what you make up in your mind is what will answer to your feelings later on. That's basically how it is, right? That's basically what it's all about. So we will wait a few more minutes before we start today, because today we will go through a lot about the journey within, if we can call it that. But basically, like the headline says, so it all comes from within. No matter how we look at stuff, everything comes from within. Joy, everything that we try to reach comes from within. That's basically how it is. So our only goal is basically to find what kind of parts of our journey which we will connect to. And this doesn't need to be something that is complicated. It's nothing spiritual. People think that when you speak in about being present, when you speak about being happy in the moment, even if shit going on around you, even if people is stabbing you in the back, even if people is lying, people is maybe unfaithful to you, they are cheating on you, your partner is cheating on you, people is calling you stuff, it's you maybe have a hard time paying your bill. That's all part of the game, my friends. That's all just a part of the game. So everything about connecting is to understand the emotions. And I had a conversation before with a friend of mine who called me up, right? He called me up, and he was on his way to work. He was on his way to work. I was in the car with my brother and his girlfriend, and with the dog. I had like my big widescreen in my lap. Everything was just chaotic around me, right? And I was going into a Zoom call at the same time, right? So I had everything just matching up, everything that just came crossing my roads. So the guy tells me immediately in the call, he calls me up on my normal phone number. I didn't have it saved, so I answered the call, and he said, Kimi, I normally doesn't reach out, but I need to talk to you, man, because I've been walking I've been walking forward. I've been walking forward a lot, and I've been handling my situation many times now, but it feels like something is going over. This feels like I can't really press down my emotions no more. I can't really put my emotions no more. And the only thing that I came to said to him was basically accept it. And acceptance is a big part of our role, and also about everything that happens around us is the acceptance. If we can learn to accept different stuff, if we can learn to accept different emotions, then things starting to happen. And we can only understand those emotions by being in the present moment, and being in the present moment is kind of hard. So it's right now 2 minutes past 8. I will start in maybe 2 or 4 minutes. So please, guys, invite everybody. If you're on my IG live, share the link to everybody. Um just invite more people in, and let's see if we can max out these calls, right? And also the same for you guys on Zoom. Invite your teams. If you're from any other country, invite your teams. Everybody is welcome, no matter which team, no matter which country. We don't really care about that stuff, do we? And it's freaking beautiful if we really dig deep into it. If we really look at what we're doing in general, no matter if you're building a business, you're going in school, you're working a job, it's quite beautiful, isn't it? Everybody is trying to go somewhere, and we're trying to put up goals. We're trying to put these different directions and end destinations for where we want to go. So 90% of everybody on planet Earth is either living in the past, a familiar past, or you're trying to live in the future. I've been one of those guys. I lived in my past for quite a few years, many years actually. And then I changed that up and I started to basically live in the future. Yes, I got a lot of more shit done. I reached success. I did a lot of more stuff, right? I felt better living in the future, but that didn't really mean anything because when I was going to sleep, I still had a hard time sleeping. Even if I made money, even if I had a good day job, even if I reached some success, I still had a hard time sleeping. Guys, have you had a hard time? When you're going to bed and you're lying down and you're just thinking and thinking and thinking, and then you're like, okay, let's look on the phone for a second. And then you're like, okay, let's put on a series or a movie or some music, something that can cool me down, right? Have you ever had this type of sensations when you can't really fall asleep? Wait, I'm gonna do the chat publicly. So now please go in the chat and type if you had a night where you have a hard time sleeping, or if this occurs to you pretty often. It's very, very often that people has a hard time sleeping. They have a hard time cooling off. They have a hard time, just let go on the nighttime. I had these nights where so first I'm going to explain to you when your body is getting stressed or when you're feeling internal stress, your body have different ways of handling stress. You can either sweat, which was my part of the game, right? I had a hard time sleeping, but when I reached sleep, so I fell asleep, I started to sweat a lot. I moved a lot and I was sweating. You could basically see where I was lying in the bed, you could see just a gray like a structure around me because I was sweating, like even on my fingers I was sweating. My body was just pushing out all of this kind of toxic energy and emotions because your body is in a hyper state of just trying to solve something. This is what our body is doing to us when we're feeling stress. It's the same things that cause anxiety. It's when we can't put our finger on an emotion. And now, guys, I will go into why this call is so important for everybody in here. Because we will speak about the one thing and the only thing that is important to you right now and tomorrow and yesterday. The only thing that is important in your life, you know what that is? It's a three-letter word. It's a three-letter word. Three-letter word. Could be air. Yes, air is very important. It's a part of the game. And you, yes, you is also sunshine. She's lighting up this world, isn't she? Now, NOW. Now is the only thing that is really important. Yes, Rick. Yes. Now, not even a divine source of energy. No, nothing about that. Not even God or some higher purposes. Not even that. Not even that, guys. The only thing that is important is now. So if your now is dedicated to speak to a God or speak to a universe or having sexual intercourse with your loved one, no matter what it is, the only thing that is important is now. So now when we go into it, what is now? Now is the present moment. And the present moment is something that is kind of hard to go to. And everybody in today's society has a hard time reaching the present moment. I had a hard time reaching the present moment for a long time. I'm still educating myself every single day. I'm still educating myself and practicing the present moment, practicing to go back to the present moment. And then, what is this present moment? And many of you doesn't really understand it because you're not even in the present moment right now. Because I can see your faces in the cameras on Zoom, on IG Live, I can't see you guys, but on Zoom, I see you, and you're looking at all this other stuff. And your face and your body structure are moving so fast, and you're looking at so many different things. So your focus is right now, not on now. Your focus is on a few things at the same time. So let me explain to you what you are doing and what we are doing in the normal day. When have you ever like go to the fridge and just open it because you're like feeling like you want to eat something? You maybe go to a drawer, you open it up, and like, do I have something? And you were just there like 5 minutes ago. You were there like 15 minutes ago, and you've already watched this, right? You've already watched this fridge so many times, but you still go there and you still open this fridge up and it's like, do I have anything here? So this is what it's all about, right? You want to get something, the music you put up, or maybe you're like watching at your phone. You were just in on Instagram and scrolled. You were just on Instagram and scrolled for a few times. Maybe you jumped on TikTok for a while and you were scrolling. Or maybe the music that you're listening to, or the thoughts that comes up, or maybe you're thinking about your ex. All of these things that we do, the food that we want to eat if we don't need it, the music that we put up to listen to, the videos that we start to move at. We put this in because we tend to basically put ourselves, it's like an escape of feeling the present moment. It's an escape of really understanding the emotions that we have inside of us every single time. When you're feeling like, okay, now I don't have anything to do, let's watch a movie. That's the time where we should just sit chill and just reflect and just understand the thoughts that comes in, because the present moment, listen to the word present moment. The English vocabulary, the English language has so many beautiful meanings behind the words, so many things that are connected and we don't really understand it. But the present moment is a gift from universe, because yesterday it's history and we can never get it back. We can never get back yesterday. And I see so many people living in the present, in the past. That's why your subconscious mind, which is controlling everything, 95% of what you do on a daily basis is controlled by your subconscious mind. Now, if 95% of your daily actions is controlled by your past experiences and events, which means 95% of your future will look similar to your past, isn't it? Hello. Is this bullshit right here? Type the number 5 in the chat if you understood what I just told you. If 95% of what you do is controlled by the past, that means that 95% of your future will look kind of similar to your past. Now, how do we change that up? We have the 5% left, right? The 5% left. Those 5% is our conscious mind. It's our consciousness. That's our active brain. Yes, Adrian, tomorrow is not guaranteed. Nothing about tomorrow is guaranteed because the only thing that we have is the present moment, right? And it's a beautiful thing because if we look at it, 95% of the time, your present time may be not that pleasant. So what I mean about this is, even if your emotions right now, even if your emotions right now maybe doesn't really add up to where you want to be, maybe it's a hard time, maybe you're feeling like you're feeling sad, you're feeling anxious, you're feeling stressed about something, you're feeling about different things going on around you. Maybe you're thinking about your ex or the text that somebody texted you, or maybe you're thinking about something that could happen tomorrow or that should happen tomorrow and you're feeling nervous about it. When we look at these stuff, it's not even important. And try to breathe that in. Try to breathe that in, because the only thing that we have is the present moment. And when you learn to be in the present moment, you will find a beautiful bliss, because that bliss comes from enjoying every single moment. And if we really try to go there, and if you want to, you can close your eyes right now and let's just understand everything that we have around us. Because if you just check, open up your eyes first and just check your room, check the environment that you are in right now, and not only just observe, try to understand the computer that you're watching me on, the iPhone or the telephone, the mobile phone that you're watching me on, the electricity that you have, the country that you live in, the people that you have around you, the bed that you have to sleep in, the beautiful floor. And just look at the floor, look at your house, and just try to think deeper. Somebody built this. Somebody built this. Somebody put this floor here. Somebody built this house. And if we really dig deep into it, we should be very grateful. And the present moment is about being grateful. And now you start to narrowing down your mind into one thing, and that is the thought you have now alone. And when we start to narrow down our focus and we're starting to be in the present moment, then we see that our mind is like a spider web. It's like a spider web. Your mind is always trying to escape from the sensations of right now. When you put so many thoughts and feelings down and you just try to push your emotions under the carpet, that won't be there. To show emotions is the one most important factor in life. To show people that you have emotions, to be able to cry, to be able to say that I am hurt, I am sorry. And there is four words to explain this pretty well. And if you just repeat these words quite often to yourself on a daily basis, you will see a different mindset. And if you look at it, so the first thing is to say I love you, I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And if we look into it, I love you, right? I love you is a pretty fucking big word, to say to somebody that I love you, man. I love you, girl. To say that is a big word and it means something in the end. And it doesn't mean that you want to have sex with somebody. I love you is to be joyful next to somebody, to respect somebody, to like somebody, to do what it needs to get done to make that person feel happy. And it's mostly about respect and loyalty. So I love you means that I also love myself, because I can't love nobody else if I don't love myself. So the first thing is to feel that love to yourself. So I love you, and then it comes to I'm sorry. And now you're talking to yourself and you're talking to the universe. First, I love you. I love you, universe. I love you, God. I love you, myself. I love everybody around me. That is, I love you. We bring up the sensation of love. The next word is I am sorry. Now it's like up, down. I'm sorry. Now we've done something, right? I'm sorry for not paying attention to my feelings. I'm sorry that I didn't hear you enough. I'm sorry for the words that I said. I'm sorry for the procrastination that I've done. I'm sorry that I didn't take action on my goals. I'm just sorry. And the next, please forgive me. Acceptance. This is the most important stuff. Acceptance. Acceptance. Please forgive me. Just to know Ho'oponopono. Correct. Ho'oponopono. So first, the thing with please forgive me is to first, I accept that I've done something wrong. I accept that I made some kind of failure, if it was sensational, emotional, but it's now my time to go past that. And it's for your time to basically, It's your time to basically accept me and forgive me. And after you forgive me, then we say the beautiful word, thank you. And when you start to say thank you, then we start to understand that it's already done. Thank you is something that has been in the past. Do you understand what I mean? Thank you is something that's been in the past. And it's quite beautiful because when we start to feel that we're saying thank you for something that has been in the past, we start to relive the now. And it's quite beautiful because now, listen to this, guys. I want you to try something out. It's a vibe check. Do a daily reminder on your phone, and you can do this how many times you want during one day. But try it for 4 times a day. For an example, just put an alarm with 4 hours, like jump, or 2 hours. You can do whatever you want. Whatever you want. Just put a reminder on your phone. Every 4 hour, it makes a sound, and on that sound, it says vibe check. That's your time to just, when you get that alarm, vibe check. Stop for a second and stop think about anything and just pay attention to everything that you're doing. Just, it's your time to start to reflect over the day that's been and start to reflect over what is right now. Just learn how to practice being in the present moment, because your mind is playing games with you every single day. Your mind is playing games with us because then we start to feeling stressed about either what we didn't do before or what we need to do tomorrow. Do you guys understand what I mean? To be in the present moment is a gift, and that comes with hard times, because sometimes it's maybe not that emotions that you want to feel, that emotion of that emotion of sadness if somebody made you sad, anger if somebody made you angry, sexual feelings, sexual sensations, all of this kind of stuff. Every sensation that comes, we try to escape that emotion. That's also an addictive. That escape is an addictive emotion that we try to fill up with different things. Could be food, could be food, could be music, could be all this different stuff that we put inside of ourselves to basically block and escape the present emotions that we really doesn't need to have, right? So basically what we all need to understand that is, if we start to take control, as you said, if we start to take control of what we have in our present moment, we start to understand the real joy within us. Because if we stop to think about it, just look down on your hands. Just look down on your hands and just pay attention to your breathing. We can move these. We can move these hands. We can do different stuff with our body, which we didn't even really understand how it happened. So our body is taking action every single minute. Our days is thousands and thousands of daily actions compounding together. Every action that you take is another compound on your next action, and that creates an emotion. That emotion that we get is something that can basically get us very stressed, disturbed, and unreliable. The times when we get unreliable is the time when we put our focus into TikTok. We put ourselves into some kind of trance state when we check something. We scroll Instagram, we check Snapchat, we watch stories. We are trying to make our focus kind of diffuse. So our present state is the only thing that is important, because really, the only thing that exists is now. If you can tell me that yesterday exists, I will give you a lot of stuff. I can give you my life. I can give you $200 million. It doesn't matter because it's impossible. It's impossible. The only thing that really matters and exists is right now. So now, let me ask you a question. If 80% of your day is 95% of your day is basically rewiring the spiral of life of your past experiences. Now, can you tell me that how we can use those 5% of our conscious brain to recreate and stop this spiral of life, to break this spiral of life, and now change it up? And imagine a spider web. Okay, imagine a spider. Do you know how spider works? They first go from one spot to another spot and makes like a cross, and then they start to make these round circles, right? They are just going in and around. Now we're creating a spider web. Okay, we're creating a spider web here, and now this is our mind. We're going from side to side, create a spider web. We're in a life circle. We're in a circle of a negative, rehearsable cognitive pattern that is forming because of our past lives. What we need to do is take that spider and get that focus to jump to another branch, to create a new spider web in another environment, in another circumstances. That is what we do with our 5% of our consciousness. And that is our vibe check. That is to see what kind of negative patterns that we are forming on a daily basis. So the present moment is more important than the past, and it's definitely more important than your future that is not yet to come. And how can we get in our present moment? Is basically by reflecting and paying attention to the sensations and the emotions that you get right now, and just accept them. And let me ask you something. I see a lot of people that is reliving and not accepting. And what I mean about reliving is that you're reliving either your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend, you're reliving your school time, you're reliving something bad that you done back in the days, instead of reflecting over the times that been and now start to create something new with it. Try to look back at what have been and learn something from it that you can add on top of your experience bar, your life experience, your life experience bar, basically. Because life is basically a video game, and we can level up every single part of life. We can level up every single part of our life because there will be people that will talk bad about you. There will be people that is talking smack behind your back. There will be people that maybe is stopping you from achieving things. You will do mistakes against and to other people. And we can't really stop that. The only thing we can control is how we feel during our present moment and the lessons that we get from the past that we can rewind and recreate and take basically control of our future. So one thing that I am doing, yoga is a part of it, yes, but I won't say it's the biggest part of my life. I would say my stillful times between my calls, between when I wake up before I go to bed. I have times where I don't watch the phone. I watch my phone a lot because I work through my phone and I answer a lot of people basically from the morning to the nighttime. But I have times during the day where I just sit and I reflect over how I felt when I read certain messages, when I had certain calls, different topics that made me feel differently. And I'm trying to just put a name on those emotions. I'm trying to understand the emotions that come and just stop there for a second. And I'm not reacting on them. I'm just reflecting over the emotions. And this is something that I want you to write down. Learn to reflect and not to react. Learn to reflect on emotions, on patterns, on behaviors, but do not react. Reflect, but not react. And to learn to reflect on emotions is also good for your business and it's good for your love life. And I'm also I'm doing this mistakes every single day, all of us are doing mistakes. Sometimes I lose myself, and we all do, but not react. So we need to reflect, but not react. Do reflect, but don't react. Reflect over the emotions that come, that maybe you got hurt when somebody said that in a call, maybe you got nervous before you jumped on into that presentation, or maybe you got, you got taken by your emotions of doing your addictive negative behaviors of eating chips or drinking coca-cola or smoking a joint or go out and drink or popping a beer or whatever that emotion is. Just reflect over that it is there, but do not react on it. Do not feel sorry for yourself. Do not feel angry on that emotion, and never promise yourself to not do them again. Because when you start to promise yourself, I will never do that again. I will never drink a beer again. I will never drink alcohol again. I will never smoke a joint again. And you actually wind up in that situation and you smoke that joint or you drink that beer, then you will be in a moment where you basically let yourself down because you couldn't hold the word to yourself. Do you understand where I'm going here, guys? Do you understand where I am? When you start to promise yourself that I will never do that again, you're telling yourself a promise which you maybe can't keep. And if you wind up in that situation, if you wind up in that situation, you will feel even more sorry and you will feel bad about yourself. Instead, reverse that basically psychology and say to yourself that I know that this isn't good for me. I know that this is nothing that I should do, and I'm worthy of more, and I'm worthy of my own personal respect. So I will let this go. Say that to yourself when you have that chips in front of you or that Coca-Cola in front of you, or you know, it's different when we start to just accept and respect ourselves of what we have and how much you are worth, because your body is your temple and it is your vehicle. And never react from emotions. Correct. So our emotions is there to talk to us. Our emotions is here because they want to tell us something that we need to understand. Either it could be a demand or a craving after something. It could be that you're horny. Basically, people and guys running around and they're work wanking off every single day and watching porn from morning to nighttime, right? But this is also just fake. And trust me, you will feel better when you stop wanking every single day. That's just for you guys out there. I don't know how it is for girls, but give that out. Remove that. Remove the wanking part because you will feel better. I feel it's okay to do it. I understand, but just try to do it less. Because when you start to do that, just think about it. Just think about it for once. Think about it for once right now. You're basically masturbating, creating so much energy inside of yourself to put life into over 10 million sperms, right? That is lives. This is living beings, right? That can create a new human. And you are wanking off that and either putting it in the toilet or into paper. Isn't that kind of fucked up? What happens if we save that energy inside of ourselves and now we start to become curious and we start to use it? Do you understand what I mean? So, no, sex is not the same thing because you're having an energetic intercourse with somebody else. It's two souls, too energetic, because you can have sex in different ways. And maybe if you just come home and you just have sex just to have sex, yes, then it is. Then it is exactly the same as just wanking off. Okay? That's basically the same thing. She's just opening up, you're doing your stuff, and then it's done and no nothing else. If there is no emotions connected to it, if there is no energy source, if there is no sexual basically sensation into it, then it's worthless. So then it's just for you to ejaculate and then just to spread your semen. And then it's basically shit. You're basically using your energy into other stuff. The same thing I see people doing. Why do you think it's easier to sleep when you jerk off? Probably the same for girls. I don't know. You have to correct me. Why is it easier? Because your body gets tired, less energy, you know? Your body is like, you're in your work, you're doing all this stuff, you're working on your body every single day, and then you're getting some sexual horniness inside of you, get this energy up, and now you're wanking. So your body's like creating this energy source, this energy field, and just pushing down, creating 10 millions lives, and just throw it out. And then you're like, whew, I just created, I just wasted my energy. Now I'm tired and now I can't sleep. Of course. But what you can do instead of that is to refocus that energy. I heard about something that I never heard about before, and that is basically sexual intercourse. And you can, as a man, as a guy, you can have your orgasms without ejaculating. You can have your orgasms without flushing out your cum, and still with no blue balls having a great time. All right. And it's kind of awesome if you look at it. If you look at it, it's quite awesome because the sperms is not what creates our orgasm. It's our mind connected to the sensation and the feeling. So this is not really connected. I won't go into it that much. I won't keep the whole fucking conversation about that. But what I want to tell you is that now when you see it, your body is a machine. Your body is a machine of energy, and you're creating lives, and you have all of these sensations inside of yourself. Now, please don't waste it. Please don't waste it. Use it for your own purposes, use it for yourself, and try to refocus that. And how can we do that? How can we do that? By understanding the present moment, because when you feel that you're horny, that is a sensation, the same as feeling anxious, feeling sad, angry, love, hate, all of these emotions. Horny and a sexual intercourse, a craving for that, it's the same. Feeling hungry or feeling just that I just feeling for some snack, it's also a sensation that can be redirected. How do we redirect it? By first understanding, reflecting over the thought that just come up. And I always tell myself, it's Mara speaking to me, focus on something else. It's Mara speaking to me, focus on something else. I reflect over the thought. And to answer your question, Matthias, why do we try to escape our emotions? Because you're not taught to be one with your emotions. School doesn't teach us either how to breathe, how to focus, or how to feel good. They don't teach us a shit about that. The only thing that is really important is now feeling good and surviving until tomorrow, right? That is those things. And the school doesn't teach us a shit about that. So we are taught to escape our emotions. We are we are taught to escape our emotions by putting our focus into a movie, into Netflix, into TikTok, into social media, into different things that is around us. So we can remove the feeling of feeling bad. Do you understand what I mean? The feeling of feeling bad is something that people doesn't want to have close to them. So they try to remove themselves from it. They try to move away from it by filling their mind up with other stuff. That means that let me answer some questions. That means being horny is an escape from the present moment. If you're not with a girl and you're not doing anything specific, yes, that is an escape. That is an escape. And we can redirect that emotion into a focus, into a meditation. Try to meditate instead of doing that, and you will see that you will understand more about the sensation. What does it mean? Huh? And they wonder why we don't like to speak about emotions. You see, Everybody's like, you need to talk about your emotions, but nobody teaches how to talk to them, talk about them. And then we're like putting into people that it's kind of bad for a man to cry, which it's not. And I felt jealousy like a couple of days ago, and it shook my mind because the only thing was not jealousy, was basically uncontrol. The only thing that I didn't have was control. So I understood that I am walking every single day with this kind of demand of control about what will happen by tomorrow, that will happen by tomorrow, or maybe that happened yesterday. So my control, my need of control is because of my past experiences where I didn't have control and shit happened to me. Now I'm trying to have control to get that shit not to happen again. And that is the spiral forming once again. So it's a static feeling inside of you when you're trying to have control, which you have no control over. Because if you're not in the room with another person, you can't control what they're doing. Do we agree about that? Type the number 5 in the chat if you agree about that. If you have a partner, for an example, if you have a partner for an example, and you and him or her is in the room, you have control over the now. You have the control over the present moment, right? But if she or he is not in the room, in another city, in another place, in another whatever, in another environment, you can control that other person's environment. And I always say that holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Holding on to anger, for me, holding on to anger for shit that happened to me in the past, it's like I am drinking poison and expecting somebody else to die. It's so unlogic, right? It's so unlogic. The same is it with control. We can't always have control over what happened yesterday or control over what will happen tomorrow. Just let it come. Just let it be. What will happen tomorrow will happen tomorrow. Of course, you can do something about it, but your impact can either be good or, in this case, bad. And sometimes it's better to just let go. That is also for your goals, for your New Year's resolutions that you put for yourself, for your goals, your promises, your diets, whatever it is. Sometimes it's very okay to just accept and let go of that. And just understand that sometimes it's not for us to take control over everything that happens today. Because to just reflect over the emotions that come, accept them, but not react on them, is a big form of control. Do you understand what I mean? To basically reflect over emotions is to first understand that they come. I had a hard time doing that. I had a hard time understanding my emotions, so I just reacted on them. I didn't reflect on them. I didn't even admit to myself that I was angry, sad, jealous, whatever. I didn't even admit it to myself. And maybe you're the similar. You react angry, you react angry, and then you just answering a text, freaking angry, or screaming at somebody, or reacting on something, right? Or reacting, taking another trade when you know you shouldn't. That is reacting on an emotion instead of pausing the present moment and reflecting over that emotion. Because reflecting on the present emotion is more important than reacting on the present emotion. Do you understand what I mean? It's different. Reflecting over the emotion that you get and maybe wait for a while to not answer that question, not answer that phone call, do not answer that text, do not take that trade, do not go and eat that chocolate cake, do not go and take that Coca-Cola drink, do not go and take that joint, that beer, whatever. Just pause for a second, reflect over the emotion, and ask yourself, are you worthy for it? Should you do it? Will it help you? Yes or no? Are you worthy for it? Will it help you? Will it treat you good? Just ask you all of these positive questions. And if the answer is yes, then go ahead and do it and have fun while you're doing it. And when you do stuff, try to enjoy the present moment. It will be more fun. I see people. So I was in Dubai at New Year, and I saw a lot of people. We were like 60, 70 people, a lot of Germans going to the desert and stuff. And I saw people, going with their quads, having a great time, going on their buggies and stuff, just having a great time, right? But I also saw them going on with the phones, so electric and so energetic. Just take these pictures, go, blah, blah, blah. And we were driving, and I also had this energy, so we all had this big source of energy, and we were just flowing around, right? But everything happened so fast and nobody paused for a second and just, wow, we're in the middle of like Sahara right now, middle of the desert with quads, with beautiful people having a great time. That just second of pause, because you can go back to those moments. It's like hitting save when you're building a website and you're hitting save. You can go back to that. It's like your computer, your MacBook is always saving. Your iPhone is always saving different times. Not every single day, so you can't choose every single day. But with your time machine, you can save different weeks. Maybe one week in March, maybe another month in April or August. Do you understand? So that time machine, you can go back to either March, April, August, right? Checkpoint album. Yes, beautiful. You are saving checkpoints. When you are in the present moment, you're making a new checkpoint. You're making a new sensation of being. You're making a new feeling of now. And when you get that sensation and feeling of now, we start to understand the joy that comes only from within. And it's the same. Somebody asked me on IG Live, how do you come over someone who you love? First, your first love, who don't give a shit about you. And I think love is a big part of the same shit as hatred. You know, I think love is something that we tend to hold on to, though I know that love is something that comes and goes. So let me ask you a question. Do you love your mother and your father? Yes or no? Do you love your parents? Yes or no? Probably most of the times it's yes. Sometimes it's also no, and I accept that as well. But most of the times it's yes. I do love somebody. I love my sister, I love my brother, I love my parents. But I also know and I accept that my parents will have their last day on this earth someday. You know, I know and I accept that my mom and my dad, my sister, my brother, me, myself, will have a day, and I hope and I pray that it's not near, but they will serve their purpose on this earth, right? And they will, to be honest, they will die. They will die. Kind of hard to say, right? But I know my mother and my dad will die. And I know myself, I will also die. I know my girlfriend will die, and I also know my dog will die. It's a part of our endless suffering. I know that it's a part of endless suffering, which we need to accept. So I think love is just acceptance. I think when you love somebody and it's a hard time letting go, it's all about acceptance, because you can't let go without accepting the present moment and accepting that what you had, and what you don't have, you can't get right now, and accept that, and then try to move on, because holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to die. It's the same. It's the same in this case. Holding on to love, which you can't get, it's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Do you understand what I mean? And it all comes down to the present moment. Do I understand that I can't get this love? Then I should accept. I should be grateful to that I had the love. I should be grateful that I experienced the love. I should be happy that I felt it, but I do accept that I can't get it, and then I let it go. And it's very important to let go. I think the one most important part of letting go is the acceptance. I accept that I used drugs for several years. I accept the society may look at me in a different way because I have a tattoo on my neck. I accept those stuff, but I can't change them. And I don't really want to change anything because everything that happened to me in my spirals of my life created the one that I am today. So, once again, I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Those words means more than we understand, because then we start to understand that I it's an unconditional love, that we should accept every emotion that come through. We should be able to cry as men, as females, males. It's okay to cry because you are just sending out the energies that is just filling up inside of you, and just let them go. Let them go, because sometimes we can't control stuff. And it's okay to not feel 100% good from the morning until the night. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to do all of this stuff. But people and the society tend to give us some kind of weird perspective which tells you that you should only be happy. You should only have a good fucking life and nothing to complain about. This is what the society is telling you. This is what social media is printing up for you. And then you're going to a coworker, and then you're going to a coworker and like, hey, how is your day? And they're like, yeah, it's perfect. The weather is sunny and it's like raining outside, but it's like it's a good weather outside. That's how the mentality of how we speak. We hide our emotions to our coworkers, to family members, to loved ones, to other people around us. We tend to put the to put something above our emotions and press them down with just it's okay, it's another day tomorrow, you know and what happens is that you're basically filling your emotions in something that is not really there. So you're filling up emotions. Sometime those emotions will explode. That is when your anxiety comes up. That is when you're getting a mental breakdown and you are going in the wall. I don't know what it is in English, like going in a vegan, that fake stuff. All of that is just a lot of compounded emotions. Compound is the eight worlds wonder. It's the eighth wonder of the world. Compound effect. The renta por renta effect and compound effect. Your daily actions compounding themselves into a result. Your daily emotions compounds themselves into a big explosion of you reacting on an emotion. Let's say I hit my foot on my in a table in the morning. Somebody calls me up and are stressed, telling something to me because they had a bad day. Then the kids or somebody is slowing me down. Then the traffic is bad, and then I'm getting late to work. All these negative things compounded on a daily basis with my emotions that I'm not paying attention to, the stress, the anger, the hurt that I got, the stress in the traffic, all of these compounded emotions. Then when I get to work and my boss said, you're late, then you start to react and your emotions just exploded and you're starting to scream at your boss and they're like, fuck, why did I even do that? Why did I do that? Kim, you're a stupid motherfucker. Why did you do that? Have you had that time sometime? Do you recognize what I just went through? Type the number 5 in the chat if you had that anytime. A lot of things just going around, you can't control it, you're getting stressed, and some poor soul just comes up in your face and saying something to you, and you're like giving them all, you're giving them everything, and you're like, okay, I'm sorry, I just had a bad day. And they're like, oh shit, take it easy. Don't attack me, you know that shit right there. That is the emotions compounding on each other every single day. That's the shit what I mean. That's the thing about the present moment. And don't get me wrong, I still get stressed. I'm not Buddha. I'm not a guru. I'm just a normal guy who tends to focus a lot on improving every single day. I understand that I can learn something from every single soul out there. And I'm just feeling more and more joy. Even if things is happening I've seen Peaceful Warrior, man. I've seen Peaceful Warrior. It's beautiful. That's a perfect movie about present moment. I highly recommend everybody to watch the movie Peaceful Warrior. Peaceful Warrior. That is a movie about present moment. Peaceful Warrior. Beautiful. That man in that movie is just pure love. I love him. He's like what he says in that movie, what he shows in that movie is just everything. Wow. I just come up when you said that movie was just like I think it's on Netflix. Yes, I think it on Netflix. I don't know. Otherwise, just Google it and you get it on I 123 movies and I don't know. But watch that movie, guys. Spiritual Warrior. And you will see the guy, the gymnast guy, he is you. He is the society. He is the world right now. He is what the government and the society wants us to think, look, feel, react upon. And his friends, it's the average of five. It's the average of five. Trust me, you're the iron rod. But when he meets this mystical, mystic old man, the only thing that man is teaching him is the only thing that that man is teaching him is being in the present moment, and you can achieve everything, anything that you ever wanted. You can get everything in your life if you just being in the present moment. And that shit is deep. So I try my best every single day to connect with myself and get in that present moment. If it is in the morning or in the nighttime, I have my best times during the night. What can I do? What can I do if I can't say I love you to myself? Say it. Say it anyways. Say it repeatedly. And now go to the mirror. Put yourself you put your back against the motherfucker, and then just put your mirror in front of yourself and tell yourself I love you. Then you make a cross on a paper for every single day that you do it. Every single day that you do it. I love you. I love you. You just tell it to yourself one time, or five times every morning and every night when you're going to bed. Like make a cross. The more you do it, the easier and the faster it will get. Because the only thing that you have is an emotional blockages from you really receiving the emotions from yourself. Because if you can't say I love you to myself for all the bad stuff that I've done, all my negative behaviors, if I can't love those negative things about myself, how can I love them about somebody else? Someone maybe think that love is about loving the perfect side of your partner. That's not the shit. The beautiful part about love is to love the bad parts about somebody, to love the embarrassing part about yourself, to love what really scares you about your partner, the flaws, to love and reflect and accept and respect the flaws of a person. That is super, super. And Emil, my man, and my brother Emil from Spain, he's also a very present guy. He's a beautiful soul. He just said the power of now uh, is a great book as well. The Power of Now. I haven't read it myself. I don't know, but if he recommends it, I will probably read it definitely. The Power of Now. And those three-lettered word, as we said in the start, everything comes from within. So I want to leave you guys with to do this daily action that I told you. Put up a daily reminder, a vibe check. Do a vibe check every single day, 4 times a day. 4 times a day, I want you to check your vibe. And while you're doing this vibe check, just be in the present moment. Just try to take a deep, big breath, inhale and exhale, and just pay attention to one thing, and that is your thoughts. Reflect over them, accept them, let them go, but don't react. Reflect over them, accept them, let them go, don't react upon them. Do you understand? Reflect, accept, let go. Reflect, accept, let go. Don't react. Reflect, accept, let go. Reflect, accept, let go. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. These words will tend to give you some kind of, you know, give you some kind of sensation of you understanding yourself, and everything is a practice, guys. I see people like they're like, Kimi, I've tried meditation now for a week. I don't feel any different. And I'm like, yo, can take you 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, or it takes you 2 months. Nobody knows except you. Nobody knows. So you need to keep on doing the practice. The more you practice, the faster you will go, the more you will learn, and the more control you will get. Reflect, accept, let go. Reflect, accept, let go. Reflect, accept, let go. It's important, guys. Reflect, accept, let go. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. So now do this thing 4 times a day. Do your vibe check. Just check how you feel and what is happening in your present moment 4 times a day. And also, when you wake up, I want you to think about your sleep. My girlfriend, she remember her dream. She's more in the present moment than I am, and I'm trying to get there even more. She's more in the present moment, and she controls her emotions more than I control mine. So, and she will probably speak to you someday as well about what I am kind of what I'm trying to get to is about the dreams. To get to the dreams, because when we sleep, shit happening that we are not paying attention to, and that is deeper thoughts. So, guys, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Take care. And on our next session, please join my personal development group. You can go on my Instagram in my bio. You can join. It's on Telegram. Just download the app Telegram, join the chat, and I will send out daily information. I will send out daily videos, daily tips, and also the next call. So reflect, accept, let go. Reflect, accept, let go. These are the words. Reflect, accept, let go. These are the words we want to use. Okay, guys? So, Zoom, you have something to do at 9. I know that is. So, you have a presentation. So, please, guys, thank you so much for jumping on this session. Thank you for standing out with me. And thank you. Peace out. Much love. Take care. And ciao,